So, this article. This is Lisa, YV Edit. Go follow her. I am jumping off of this article. And if you are disrespectful in the comments, I will block you. So, let's not do that, okay? Women exhibit less manipulative personality traits in more gender equal countries. So, later on in the article, they go into what's called the dark triad traits: narcissism, sociopathy, and Machiavellianism. So, the easiest way to think of these traits is to imagine them like a triangle, but they can all overlap each other like a Venn diagram. So, none of them are necessarily a mental health diagnosis, but everyone can exhibit these, just like on a spectrum, if that makes sense. And so Lisa is saying in her video that the men are about to F around and find out because all the men are saying now, like, women are so mean, women only want us for our money, women just see us as wallets, that it's about to get a lot worse in the next 4 years. When you oppress something or take away rights that are rightfully theirs, like that might have just messed up the mic. As humans, we all have inherent rights that are all actually in the UN. They're all written out there on the website. Unfortunately, this doesn't actually mean that every country enforces these rights, obviously. So if you restrict someone's rights like this, like the right to property, the right to money, the right to have a job, the right to go to college, the right to divorce, and this isn't even about women, this will affect men too. The right to divorce your spouse with no fault. No fault divorce just got passed in 2010, and Project Orange, I should say, wants to take it away. And so part of women just like viewing men as resources, at least in America, I think it's just becoming more popular because we understand that we need resources and it's very valuable to have those resources, obviously. But even more than before, because now we're going into a time where we're anticipating all of our rights to be stripped away. And so if that puts someone in survival mode, aka fight or flight, actually, let me just read something I wrote. It's notes, so it might be a little spotty. But anyway, men want to go back to traditional households and nuclear families so they can keep controlling us, and to make it easier for every man to have a wife and children. Before men could go on or could have a traditional life and have no problem getting a wife, but times have changed because of capitalism and inflation. No one can survive on a two-income household with one child anymore. And this is forcing women, or they want women to go back to traditional ways so it can guarantee them access to women and children. It may seem like women start to comply on the outside, but behind closed doors, it could be very different. Women who do not want to be married and who do not want children but are forced into it, aka like child marriage, they can become very abusive behind closed doors to their husbands and children. Yeah, especially if they don't want children. And I don't know if Lisa said this in the video or I heard it somewhere else, but when there are societies like this where women are forced into marriage, forced into having kids, the women, again, the wives will be terrible to the husbands, but the husbands won't divorce because they want someone, who's gonna take house and they can't get pregnant. They can't, men cannot have children, cis men, I should say. And so, bringing it all back, if women, also, another thing I think that's important to mention is that in the 40s, 50s, 60s, when the nuclear traditional family was like very apparent, is that these housewives were on a crazy amount of to cope with the abuse and um, just how tired they were from doing house, having a job that's basically 24/7, 365. Um, and I believe that men who want to go back to traditional values, they think that um, it's going to like be exactly how it was before, but I think the difference is women back then hadn't had the taste of freedom that we do now. And, you know, if something isn't strong, you're not going to oppress it. And I think that's one of the reasons why women have been so depressed, is because inherently we are such strong people, or not even strong, we're just like, we're vibrant. And a lot of men definitely like are very jealous of that, in my opinion. Okay, I digress. But um, going back to like the trauma aspect of this, like if you're having multiple generations of immediate family or family in general that are being abused, that shit gets passed in your DNA. It can literally change. It can change your DNA. And we're learning now that trauma affects every part of the body. The body keeps score. Even if you don't remember it, your body will. Um, and that obviously is going to be detrimental to families and um, mental health in general. I think will get so much worse as we keep going down this path. Because at this point, I don't think that we can stop the rest of society for going this way. But individually, if you're single, if you're child-free, childless, married, in a relationship, that doesn't mean that we also have to go down that way as well. And with this taste of freedom that we've gotten, I don't think we're gonna let that go away, or it's going to be very hard, a lot harder than they suspect, for American women to just go back to all of us being mothers. And another part about the angle is not everyone is meant to be a parent. Not everyone is meant to be a mom or a dad or a guardian. Not everyone wants to. And I know that's like crazy to some people, but from a very young age, um, I have never wanted kids or to get married. And I had a lot of people telling me, like, oh, that'll change, but it has literally never wavered. The way that you have always known that you wanted kids or wanted marriage is the same way that I've known I have never wanted marriage or to not have kids. Thank you and good night.